Alright, what's going on everybody? I'm back again today doing a video that I've thought about doing for quite a while now. It's going to be a room tour video of my gaming slash collectible comic book nerd room. I've put this video off because I kept telling myself I would do it when the room was complete, and I've just kind of realized that it's never going to be complete. I'm always going to keep adding more stuff to it, so I figured I'd just go ahead and show it off a little bit here. So I'm standing right in front of the front door to the room. So without further ado, you come in through the front door here. There's this little space here where I've got like my printer and whatnot. And then you come around the corner and here we are. I got just nice futons where I watch movies, play games, little coffee table, some footrests. When we moved in, I told my wife, I was like, you can do whatever you want with the entire apartment. Just let me have this one room upstairs. And so far she's been really cool about that. So coming over, I guess we'll just kind of go on a circular tour. That's just a closet, but here we've got Justice League poster, some Harry Potter, Gryffindor stuff, Batman Arkham Knight. Not a super big fan of the Arkham Knight game, but I like that poster. My buddy got it for me for free, so. Some artwork. We got Daredevil, Batman, another Batman. This one's my favorite because it's actually signed by the artist. I got that at a Comic Con. He happened to be there, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta buy something for him to sign. It's I believe his name is Shane Davis. I might have that wrong. He's the one that did the artwork for the Superman Earth 1 graphic novels, at least the first 2 volumes. And then you come over here, and this is just like a still print of a scene from Civil War with Spider-Man. He's got Cap's shield, and they're all rushing into battle. And then right here next to it, you got the first shelf, which is to the left of my computer, and this is pretty much just a Batman shelf. I got a Kotobukiya Arkham City Batman statue there. And this is kind of my Batman Through the Ages shelf. Got like his first appearance, and then you slowly see the progression of him year 1. I know that's from the Trinity comic, but it's very reminiscent of his year 1 outfit. Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns, Troika, all the way up to a somewhat modern age Batman. Down here, this is going to be my Arkham video game shelf. I got a number of characters. Most of them you'll notice are from Arkham Origins, but there's a couple from Arkham City. This Batman, I love this Batman, but I hated the head that was on it. So I went ahead and took the Arkham Origins head and popped it on there, and it looks a lot better. And then down here, this is going to be the Nolan shelf. And I used to have a lot more of these Nolan ones, but over the years I've sold them or lost them. So now I just got these 4. And then down here, these are my graphic novels comics that are just strictly Batman and that I don't really consider to be part of like the main story of DC. I understand that like some of them in there are very relevant, like Dark Victory, Nightfall, but I just kind of keep these over here with other Batman stuff. And that's just miscellaneous comics, Spawn, Hellboy, Dark Tower, some Star Wars. Continuing over here, we've got my gaming laptop. And before anybody says anything, I know that mouse and keyboard is really crappy for playing games with, but I do most of my gaming on console, but there's just, a lot of MMORPGs and RTS games are mostly on PC, so I find that it gets me by. Got a Rick and Morty Funko there. I want to get more of the Rick and Mortys, but I don't know. I'm running out of room in this room to put shelves, so I'm using up window space. I got some One Piece little statues, figurines. They're not articulated. They don't move. I got a classic Zoro, modern Zoro, and then I got Luffy. And then right here we've got the 4 of the new McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. I'm kind of realizing I should have the flash on because of the light behind it. I like these. They're okay. It just kind of sucks that The worst one of the bunch is Batman, and he's my favorite character. But I sent him off to a guy I know who does customization, and he gave him a new head, like a true Jim Lee head, and he did some work on the belt to make it a little better. So he turned out pretty good. I'll probably be getting more of those, but like I said, I'm running out of shelf space. Coming over here, this is going to be Spawn shelf, and so far all I have is Spawn. Like, as you can see, when I said that like I wanted to wait to make this video till the room was complete, this is kind of why. There's still a lot of stuff I want to get. The next shelf down, this is going to be all Blizzard game characters. So far I've just got like 3 of my favorite Overwatch characters and Jim Raynor. Definitely love Blizzard. I love StarCraft, I love Heroes of the Storm, I love Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Diablo. So planning on getting a lot of those guys. And then down here, this is just going to be like a video game character shelf. And so far all I've got is Cloud and Master Chief. But hopefully you're going to be getting more to go on that shelf soon as well. Down here, these are just 2 like random sci-fi fantasy bookshelves. Harry Potter series, Inheritance series. Anybody else might recognize some of these more obscure titles. So we come back and we back it up, come around here, and this is what I call the Marvel shelf, even though you get to the bottom and there's stuff that's not Marvel related. So up top, these are my Marvel Select figures. When it comes to like the comic book look for the characters, I tend to stick with Marvel Select. I'm not the biggest fan of like articulated figures and toys. If it was up to me, I would just buy statues, like small scale statues, but the only problem with that is there's no statue line out there that you can buy that will allow you to collect a ton of the characters. You know, usually if you're buying a list, like a line of statues, you're gonna get like your A-list and maybe a couple B-list characters. But if you really want like the A-list, the B-list, the C-list, and the D-list characters, if you want to get all of them, then you just gotta go with toys. There's no other way around it. And these tend to have some articulation, they have some movable parts, but this is how I mostly display my collectibles and my figures and statues and stuff. I just do like a portrait display. I'm not in here constantly posing them and putting them in different positions. I just get them into a cool stance, put them on the shelf, and that's pretty much it. You come down here, you have my MCU shelf. All my MCU characters that I have. Definitely a lot more of those to get. And yes, that armored Thanos in the back, that is a Marvel Select figure, but I had the Marvel Legends Infinity War one where he's not as armored, but I just think the armored one looks so much cooler, so I put him in there. Coming down one more shelf, we got a lone Marvel Legends Daredevil figure, and I love Daredevil. He's my favorite Marvel character. I guess you can see there's a ton of Daredevil comics in there, but that's all the Marvel comics that I own in trade paperback format. I used to own a ton of single back issue comics, but I just they got to be kind of a pain in the butt to store and keep track of. Plus, I would find that like, if I ever wanted to reread a story, I would never reread like a single issue because I always kept them in like plastic sleeves. So I'd have to like go digging in the box, find the one I wanted, take it out of the sleeve, put the sleeve somewhere so it doesn't get fucked up. So these are just easier. I just pull these off the shelf, read them, put them back. Coming down one more shelf, another fantasy sci-fi shelf. We've got the Game of Thrones books, the Song of Ice and Fire books. Got the Dark Tower series, some Star Wars. And then down here we've got all of what I call my nerdy Blu-ray DVD collection. It's superheroes, sci-fi, fantasy, all that stuff. There's some Rick and Morty in there. A couple anime movies, I think. And then right here in the middle is my game station. So I got this TV, 2 Bose speakers on either side, and then I've got my Xbox One, my PS4, and my Switch. Come down here, inside here, I got all my PS4 games, game case, and then that's my Switch case, and all my Switch games are just in a little pouch on the side of that. And then this side got Xbox One and Xbox 360 games. The only reason that I have an Xbox One is because there are some game series that, like, the series started on Xbox 360 and a number of the titles are on 360, like Fable or Gears of War or Halo, and the Xbox One was backwards compatible, so I went ahead and got that. Not to mention that there are just some games that are exclusive to Xbox, and you can't get them on PlayStation or Switch. Some other Switch games down there, the cases for them anyway. And then coming over to the other side of the TV, we have the DC shelf. So this top shelf is modern, what I call my more modern DC shelf. It's the characters in a lot of their New 52 looks or later, except for this Batman. This is another Arkham City Batman, but I did a head swap on him as well. So he's got white eyes, and there's a new head, a cleaner head. With the one I have on him right now has some like paint scuffing and some defects, but that one's pretty clean, so I imagine I'm going to swap that out pretty soon. So this is my New 52 Justice League. You'll notice that Wonder Woman is not New 52, she is Rebirth. And that's like the best Wonder Woman look that has ever existed. Like, I'll show you when we go down to the classic shelf, but why she was ever like red, white, and blue, I don't know. Like, she's an Amazonian princess from Themyscira. She has no allegiance to America, so, and this looks much more like Greek battle armor than her classic costume or New 52 costume ever did. I like that Aquaman, but he's not the most modern look anymore. He's back to he wears that suit, but he's got long blonde hair and a beard now, so. But I don't really need to update him because we come down here, and this is my Mattel shelf for DC, my DC Universe Classics shelf. And I'm trying to keep this one, I call it the Classics shelf, but I'm also trying to keep it more in line with like the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited animated series. Except for, once again, this Batman. And that's just because that's another custom. It's the New 52 Mattel Batman, but I gave him the cape and the head of the DC Collectibles Batman. And then the belt is another custom edition by my guy I got. Hit him up, mailed the figure to him. He put a better belt on the figure, so it looks a lot better now. When it comes to all the characters, I try to stick with the theme of the shelf. Like, if it's the classic shelf, I put the classic look up there. The only one that I have exceptions for is Batman, because Batman's my favorite character. So when it comes to putting Batman up, I'm like, okay, he's just got to look cool. He's got to look the way I want him to look. The only one I'm missing here is Jon Stewart, in order to be like a... Right now I've got kind of like a 90s Grant Morrison JLA thing going on. But I was hoping to get Jon Stewart pretty soon, and then I would have the Justice League animated series team. And you come down one more shelf, and this is a toy, or not a toy line, this is a statue line that I had a lot of hope for, which was the DC movie line of Kotobukiya statues. We got the Ben Affleck Batman and the Henry Cavill Superman. I didn't like the Wonder Woman that they put out, because she was holding weapons, and she was holding them out to her sides, which means that like she was going to take up a lot of shelf space. And I had Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg, I had them all pre-ordered, but once like the movie underperformed, and then Ben Affleck left, and then Henry Cavill left, and it just looked like the whole franchise was in shambles, I just kind of stopped here. And if it ever picks back up again, I'll buy the rest of them, but I don't know. I started to kind of question whether or not this movie franchise was going to continue and go anywhere. Coming down here, we got another lone Wonder Woman figure. Not because she's my favorite or anything, but because, like I said, I think her rebirth look is the best. So depending on what kind of mood I'm in, sometimes I swap this one out for the classic one up there. But not often. And then this is what I consider my main DC Comics shelf. So I got this piece of cardboard here, and it's kind of separating this half from this half. Everything from the piece of cardboard this way is what I consider to be main DC Comics canon. This is all extra DC random shit. And then over on the other Batman shelf is just extra Batman stuff. But everything from Watchmen over, that tends to be what I consider to be like it's canon. It's necessary to read. And you come down here, you got one more fantasy bookshelf. Got some Jim Butcher, R.A. Salvatore, Drizzt Do'Urden books. And I've got like a ton of Middle-earth, Tolkien, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Silmarillion, Book of Lost Tales, Children of Hurin. And then we come back over here to the side and we're back to where the front door is. And that's just a box of trash that needs to be taken out. So come back around, one last look here. Definitely a lot to still add, at least as far as I'm concerned. This lighting for this video is just terrible. But yeah, like I said, I kind of realized like this is a room that's never going to be finished. I'm always going to be adding more stuff to it, so I just decided to go ahead and make a video. But yeah, this is the room. This is my lair. So alright, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Anybody else in the progress of building sort of like a nerd cave, nerd room? Let me know what you guys are doing. Leave some comments below. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like. And I will see you guys next time.